Hello everyone, my name is Teena Mathur and I am an assistant professor in Biani Girls College. Today I would going to deliver a lecture on the topic dividend policy. Every organization has to keep certain portion of dividend. The main objective of every organization is to maximize the wealth of the shareholders. So, every organization has to keep a certain portion of its profit in the form of dividend and remaining as retained profit for future growth and investment. Now, what are the basic essentials of a sound dividend policy? So, for a sound dividend policy, the first essential is the distribution of dividend, it should be in the form of cash. When the company is distributing dividend, it should always in the form of cash or in the form of bonus share. They cannot give dividend or distribute in the form of property or any other asset. The second essential is initially lower dividend. When the company has started, the second essential of a sound dividend policy is initially lower dividend. Every organization in its starting year should pay less dividend to its shareholders and retain maximum profit for future growth and investment. The third essential of a dividend policy is gradual increase in dividend. The dividend should be increased in a gradual, slowly because there should not be fluctuation in that. When the company is earning more, and they should increase their dividend accordingly. The fourth essential of a sound dividend policy is stability. There should not be any fluctuations in the dividend. So that, like for example, in first year the company is paying 10% dividend and in another year it is paying 0% dividend. So, there should be stability and continuity in the distribution of dividend. The last essential of a sound dividend policy is dividend out of earned profit. Dividend should be earned. The last essential of a sound dividend policy is dividend out of earned profit. The company should pay dividend from its current year profits or last year profits. They should not pay dividend when they have incurred losses or when there is no profit. So, a dividend policy is that policy that determine what percentage of profits they will keep as retained profit and what percentage they will distribute in the form of cash dividend. Now, let us discuss about the types of dividend policy. The first type is stable or regular dividend policy. Under dividend policy of regular or stable, a company pays regular dividend and stable dividend irrespective of the fluctuations in the earnings. The second form of dividend policy is policy of no immediate dividend. Under immediate dividend, the second form of dividend policy is policy of no immediate dividend. Under this policy, company in case of unfavorable condition does not pay dividend or on account of shortage of working capital or for when the company wants to retain its profit for future growth and expansion. The third form of dividend policy is policy of regular plus extra dividend. Under this dividend policy, companies pay a fixed amount of dividend and along with they pay extra dividend in the case of prosperity or when the company has incurred a huge profit. And the next form of dividend is policy of regular bonus dividend. Under this bonus dividend, a company along with dividend in cash pays bonus shares to the shareholders, which increases the value of the shares of the shareholders. Now, the last one is policy to pay irregular dividend. Company which are not running successfully, they pay dividend when they are earning, and in some year if they have not earned, they does not pay dividend to the shareholders. Now, let us discuss about some various factors which are affecting dividend policy. So, it is categorized into two groups: internal factors which are affected through the internal affairs of the organization, and the second category is external factors which are affected by the external affairs of the organizations. So let's discuss the internal factors through which dividend policy affects. First is nature of earnings. So let's discuss about the internal factors through which dividend policy affects. The first is nature of earnings. In case of stable earnings, the organization is able to pay a fixed dividend, and in case of unstable or fluctuated earnings, an organization is not able to pay a fixed portion of dividend to the shareholders. The next factor is future fund requirement. An organization who has to make investment in some project in the future will retain its maximum profit and will pay less dividend to the shareholders, and a firm who has not to make any investment in any project in the future will distribute its dividends to the shareholders and keep the remaining or less portion of profit in the form of dividend. The next factor is liquidity of funds. An organization who has shortage of funds or has less liquid funds will not able to pay dividend to the shareholders. So at that time the company can issue bonus share, but in case when the company has excess of liquid funds, so they can issue dividend to the shareholders. The last factor of internal factor is shareholder desire. Dividend policy is also affected by the desires of the shareholders. There can be shareholders who are more focused for regular dividend or stable dividend, like retired person, widows or service class people, and there can be a big investors who expect a high dividend or high market value of share. So they can wait for 5 years or 7 years for the high rate of dividend and for the good market value of the share. Now come to the external factors through which dividend policy is affected. The first is economy in general state. When in economy the boom period is going on, the market demand is so high and they are selling good units of products. So at that time the company can distribute a high rate of dividend to the shareholders. But in the case of recession period, in the case of inflation, the company can pay or distribute a less percentage of dividend to the shareholders. The next factor under external factor is state of capital market. New and small companies, they are not able to get into the capital market and can get loan from the capital market very easily, and so that they are not able to pay a high rate of dividend to its shareholders. But the companies whose reputation is very high, they can get easily loan from the capital market and can give dividend to its shareholders. The next factor is legal restrictions. Dividend policy is also affected by the legal restrictions, like it is a law that a company can pay dividend only when it has deducted its losses from its profit, current year profit, and when he has deducted depreciation on fixed assets. So from that remaining amount the company can pay dividend to its shareholders. The last point is contractual restriction. A company, when it borrows funds from the various bankers and financial institutions, sometimes the financial institution and banks, they make an agreement with the company that until and unless you pay the loan to us, then only you can just give the dividend to the shareholders, or you can give dividend only up to 5% until and unless you pay the whole loan amount to us. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel and visit our website gurukpo.com.